It's on badges, it's on walls, it's on desks. So finally I asked a teller in one of the branches, what's the 100? She said, oh, that's easy. She said, the 100 stands for 100% responsibility. He said, I have 66 gas stations that report to me and about 690 employees. He said, I can only spend about 45 minutes each month with each of those gas stations. He said, it's not a lot of time. He said, but when I go out to the gas station, the first thing I do is I walk around and I ask everybody in the gas station, tell me what's happening in your life. People will work hard when they know that someone cares about them. Every study ever done on employee engagement shows the more you're perceived as knowing about people's lives outside of work, the more they will engage and work hard for you.
A leader is anyone who influences other people in a positive way such that those people want to influence others in a positive way. And the interesting thing is that if you take that definition of leadership, it doesn't really matter what it says on your business card, whether it says the executive director or whether it says the president or whether it says a secretary, that if you are influencing others in your association, in your chapter in a positive way, you are a leader.
I interviewed 3,500 people, asked them about the best times in their career, right? Tell me about your most engaged, vital times in your career when you loved working and you remember that as a great time. Can I tell you what no one told us? 3,500 people. No one said this even once. You know, the best year of my career was that year we were on autopilot. Nothing was changing. Nothing big was happening. We were just smooth sailing the whole year. You know what was interesting? The opposite. People said the year we had to do that big turnaround, man, it was tough. I went home every night sweating. That was the best year of my career. The year we did that big system conversion, you know, man, it was hell. But we got through it. I learned so much, the best time of my life. I believe what's really true is not that people resist change. People resist change for which they either see no purpose or for which they feel like victims. You see, we're not afraid of change. What we're afraid is that we're afraid that we're changing and we don't know why. And by the way, that's the first responsibility of you as leaders in this room, because I know one reason as leaders you might resist change yourself is because you say, well, I don't know why we're doing it. Well, here, let me tell you something you already know. Your job, 300 people in this room, if you don't know why, your job is to ask.
A best-selling author of 4 books on corporate culture and leadership, John Izzo has conducted extensive research on what today's employees want from work and how leaders and businesses can create a corporate culture of passionate commitment.
Fortune magazine named a relatively unknown bank in Columbus, Georgia, Synovus Bank, the best company to work for in the United States. 57 consecutive quarters of double-digit profit growth, 15,000% growth in employees in 10 years from 1988 to 1998, a turnover rate 1/5 their industry average. So I'm intrigued. And they beat the pants off of all their major competitors in every market they're in. So I call up the CEO. I said, can I come and visit your bank? He says, yes. 3 months later, I'm sitting in his office in Columbus, Georgia. I said, Jimmy, before I meet anybody else in your bank, tell me, why is this the best company to work for in America? Why are you so successful? And I love it. In his strong Southern drawl, he said, John. He said, the secret of Synovus is the power of love. I said, Jimmy, I'm from up north. Could you say that again? He said, John, the secret of Synovus is the power of love. He said, you ask anybody in this bank why they love working here and why it's so great, they'll tell you it's love. He said, we love each other, we love the customers, we know each other's kids, each other's grandchildren. He said, one part of this company cries, the whole company cries with them. He said, you ask anybody the secret of this bank, they'll tell you the power of love. Gave me a badge, set me loose. I'm wandering around the bank and asking people, what's the secret of the bank? They said, the power of love. What's the secret of the bank? The power of love. But everywhere I go, I saw these 2 numbers on the wall, 100/0. Now, at first I thought, now this is an honest bank. I mean, they put it right up front where you can see it. You give us 100% of your money, you get nothing in return. You know, they never laugh at TD at that. I don't know why, you know. Their customers laugh. I just don't know why they don't laugh. But it's obviously not it, because it's on badges, it's on walls, it's on desks. So finally I asked a teller in one of the branches, what's the 100? And she said, oh, that's easy. She said, the 100 stands for 100% responsibility. You never say it's not my job. You never say I'd have been on time if it wasn't for the traffic. You never say this would be a great company if the CEO would just do his or her job. 100% of the time, you take responsibility for the success of yourself and the success of this company. You know it's up to each one of us to keep this company great. She said, and the zero stands for zero excuses for not giving great service or great quality in every single interaction with every single person. There is never an excuse not to be your absolute best. Now, I ran back to the CEO's office. I waited to see him. I said, Jimmy, wait a minute. You told me the secret of the bank's the power of love. What's with the 100 stuff? And I love it. He didn't even look up. He said, well, I forgot to tell you, it's tough love.
Izzo's pioneering work has been featured on CNN, ABC's World News, the LA Times, the American Medical Journal, the Seattle Times, and on the cover of Association Management magazine.
A number of years ago, I did an event for one of the largest oil companies in the world. And after my presentation, a man came up to me and said, I loved your talk. I live what you teach. He said, they do 360-degree feedback in our company with all your employees, tell you what they think about you. He said, and I have the highest feedback numbers of anyone in the history of the company. So I said, all right, you got me. What's your secret? And he reached in and took out this tattered little black notebook. And he said, this is my secret. And I said, you got me, what's in the notebook? And he said, well, here's the deal. He said, I have 66 gas stations that report to me and about 690 employees. He said, I can only spend about 45 minutes each month with each of those gas stations. He says, it's not a lot of time. He said, but when I go out to the gas station, the first thing I do is I walk around and I ask everybody in the gas station, tell me what's happening in your life. He said, and people tell me all kinds of things. The guy pumping gas will say, I'm going to school at night because I don't want to pump gas my whole life. I'm studying marketing. It's hard to go to school and pump gas, but I'm doing it. He said, when I get in my car, I take out my little notebook and I write down the things that people tell me, people's names, the things they tell me. When I come back 3-4 weeks later, I study my little notebook before I go in. I go up to the guy pumping gas and say, hey, how'd the semester finish? I know you just finished. You keep the grades up. Keep it going. I know it's tough. Hey, I've been wondering all month, did you win that game? Way to go. You know that woman who told me her grandmother died? I've called her 3 times, once every week for the last 3 weeks to find out how she's doing. She said, and I know what you're thinking. I can read it in your face. What a great gimmick, right? He said, but He said, I'm not the most popular regional manager in the history of this company because of this notebook. He said, I'm the most popular regional manager in the history of this company is because I actually care about what's happening in people's lives. This notebook is just my way of keeping track of almost 700 people.